Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklar Country, the virus edition, aka the Pandy Pods,
AKA One Table, No Fables,
aka Brothers on Jenny Craig, aka Brothers on Jenny Craig trying to survive the plague. That was from Sarah Dunn.
Sarah Dunn, Randy screwed it up for you. Now he's not allowed to sleep on your property.
AKA learn about Pet Shop Karen from some belly flop barons. There we go.
Hey, we're here in Dan Van Kirk's kitchen. Mainly,
Let's explain why.
Well, because we recorded a full show, we sent it in, and then we found out that one of our microphones sounded like white noise.
Yeah.
This is why we need this pandemic to end. This is why we need a
That's the only reason.
This is the only reason.
So
No.
we can stop doing our sound.
We did not get into comedy to be average to crappy engineers, but that's who we are in this thing. And a lot of times, once in a while, just to pull the curtain up on the wizard, we do a whole show and then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we get to do it again.
So we're doing it right now for you.
Take two for you guys. Take one, and let's get into these stories because we've got stories. If you own a small business, Rand, and you get a bad Yelp review,
What do you do about it?
What
Can you do about it? I seriously want to know, is there some action that you can take?
Yelp court.
Let's take them to Yelp court. It's like stadium jail.
Yeah.
We
need to develop Yelp court.
Can we develop Yelp court? Yelp court. Yelp. To me, Yelp court would be fantastic.
Well, there's one thing you should never do if you get a bad, and it's in this story right now.
This next story is so crazy because of all the twists and turns. So the fact that we're like in a pandemic right now magnifies every Yelp review, doesn't it? Especially for a restaurant.
Because if you are a restaurant and you're hanging on by the skin of your teeth right now because of COVID, that's not your fault.
Like one bad Yelp review is like
could push
20.
you over the edge.
It's like 20 bad
You
Yelp
could
reviews.
fall off the COVID cliff.
So here we go. October 14th. Incensed over a pair, Jay.
Two, like us, a
of
pair.
scathing reviews on Yelp. The owner of a Florida barbecue joint, of course it was Florida.
Of course.
Last night allegedly
By the way, is Florida known for its barbecue?
I don't know.
What do you got over there? I got
Barbecued gator.
I got alligator and I got an old shoe. All right. Welcome to a Florida barbecue.
The owner of Florida barbecue joint is allegedly attacking physically his suspected online critic.
What?
According to cops who arrested the restaurateur. Well, that's not going to get reviewed well, is it?
How was the service at that barbecue
It
joint?
sucked, and then it followed me home, and then it kicked my ass.
Well, that's terrible.
Investigators charged Daniel Aarons, 60. You're old enough to know better, dummy.
So when I'm not even seeing this guy, Ran, I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
I'm imagining the dad from American Chopper.
Basically, without the mustache, that's kind of what he looks like.
That's a guy. That's like a type of a guy.
A dude who he's still wearing a lot of Ed Hardy.
Yeah.
Still wearing True Religion jeans with a lot of embroidery on the pockets, and he's going to kick your ass.
Yeah, he beats people up. That's what he
And
does.
doesn't need to, all right? He jumped atop the male victim and struck him several times while outside a residence in Largo, a city of the Tampa Bay area.
That's okay. This is just Tampa being Tampa right now.
They're Tampa-ing out. They're not Tampa-ing down the problem. They're Tampa-ing up the problem.
Okay, and look, on some level, I can understand. Again, we said this earlier. If your restaurant's on the verge, on the edge, and then there's these bad
This guy's
Yelp,
livelihood.
I don't know if I ever would write a bad Yelp review unless
but-
something horrible happened. Unless this guy chased me home, then I wouldn't.
Well, but here's the thing. So we need to figure out the timeline of this. Now, if the restaurant is really bad and there are a bunch of examples of the barbecue being bad in the Yelp reviews, then fine.
Okay.
But if it's general and this Yelp review is coming to the top every time, then that's a bad thing.
Bad news for the show.
Well, let's get into it because you're going to hate Aarons by the end of this.
Oh, good.
Aarons
Fantastic.
was arrested for battery and booked into the county jail. He was released from custody early this morning after posting $500 bond on the misdemeanor charge. Spent night in jail. I wonder if when he was in jail, he came up with some recipes.
Oh, sure.
Jerky chicken,
A salted brisket sandwich.
pounded pork in your loin.
Yeah.
I mean, it was in jail.
Yeah.
According to an arrest affidavit, the confrontation Tuesday evening began when the victim, whose name has been redacted by the police, arrived at the Largo home.
So, okay.
This happens, you say to yourself, how did he know the name?
Yeah. How did he know who to follow or how to get this guy?
How did he know that? If he spent more time on this cornbread, Jay.
And maybe less time trying to track down his detractors, maybe you don't get a bad Yelp review.
That's right. But this is where the story takes a ridiculous turn. The victim is apparently the son of Aaron's girlfriend.
Hold on. What?
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Bonk.
Yeah.
Insane. What?
So the Yelp hater is connected to this guy.
It's his future baby stepson.
I don't know.
Stepdads suck already.
Yeah.
In general, they're not great.
It's always the people closest to us that cut us the deepest.
Like a stepdad who doesn't hit you. You're like, he's pretty good.
Right.
Like the bar is very low for
This
the
guy's just a
stepdads
regular
in this world.
stepdad. The victim, cops reported, sought to speak with his mother about, quote, threatening communication sent him by Aaron. Why do you think he was threatening you? Was it maybe because you wrote this review?
Maybe you're trying to tank his little horrible business. Or and this is the thing. And
Or
this is
did
what
he
we're doing.
threaten you and then you wrote the review? In which case, why are you writing a bad review?
He's already a powder keg. You don't want to deal with this guy. He's 60. He's not afraid to mix it up and get into a fight. That's a bad...
Why would you put your name on that?
If you're 60 and you're still getting into physical fights with people,
Yeah.
you've made
You
so
can't-
many bad decisions, or you can't control your temper.
You cannot be helped.
You have problems.
He's already threatening you via text. So a bad review is only...
Don't give him more things to threaten you about.
That's right.
Stop.
Makes you think that you don't understand what Yelp does or how it affects people.
You think he doesn't know it's you.
He can see your review. In addition to the text, Aaron's allegedly called him, quote, several times in regards to wanting to beat his ass about a restaurant review. You mean
A restaurant, maybe not even his.
it was a different restaurant
No, you
review.
mean the restaurant review.
Both of them.
Or the pair that is trying to sink your business.
A pair of brutal Yelp reviews published Monday. Don't give it the credit that it's not. Yelp reviews didn't go to Harper's Press.
Yeah, you don't get to say to the world, "I'm published."
I'm
really?
pub-
Who's your
Yelp.
publisher?
Yelp.
Oh.
I published a lot on Yelp. Published
You
Monday.
should go on a book tour.
Disparaging the food at Georgia Boys Barbecue. Georgia Boys to me sounds like the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
You want this guy coming after you?
I'll tell you right now, I've never been to Georgia Boys. They don't have any dark meat at that place.
That's right, all white meat.
all white meat.
And they're going to stand by and stand back while you eat it. The restaurant owned by Aaron's reviewer Sean R. claimed that he wouldn't even feed it to my dog.
Right, that's an
you
old
took that
joke.
from Randy Moss.
That's a Randy Moss joke. Come on.
Adding that the eatery's owner should, quote, spend less time threatening customers and more time on learning to cook properly. That's what we said.
Okay. Now I'm on board with the guy.
Sean R., he probably thought he was being anonymous. No, Sean is in. I bet your name is Sean.
Why would you just go with a completely different ethnicity?
What if, and I'm just saying this, what if the threatening makes it good? It's like Kenny Rogers Roasters.
the wood that makes it good.
No, the threatening.
You've never tasted fatty brisket like this until you fear for your life.
Until you have the threat of a baseball bat coming over your head. It tastes great.
It's going to add some kick to the potato salad when you think you're going to get your teeth kicked in.
I was threatened into loving the coleslaw. That's what I can say about it. The second review, authored by Rick R.
Another R period last name. You got to mix it up.
You got to mix it up.
This is a guy who probably never changes one password in his whole life.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's his password every time. Not a great idea to threaten your customers, Rick R. said, due to you serving garbage barbecue. You've now linked the threatening thing to both. If both people are talking about the threatening, it's not about the food.
Unless this place is like the Florida version of the Wiener Circle,
Yeah.
then
you walk in expecting to be threatened.
You've exposed yourself.
The arrest affidavit does not indicate whether Aaron's thought the victim authored both Yelp reviews. So he's just going to kick the son of the woman that he's dating's ass.
Wait, like as he's punching and pummeling his future
It's like,
steps
you
in the
read
face.
the Yelp review? And he's like,
No,
no.
wait, you wrote those reviews? Punch harder, punch harder.
Isn't it the job of the kid of a woman that this older guy is dating to make his life miserable?
You're not my real dad.
Isn't that the way it goes? Like when you enter in and start dating a woman, especially if you're 60, you know you got to deal with her kid. He's not going to like you.
You got to say to yourself, I'm never going to win him over.
Here's my goal. I got to turn a negative Yelp review in life into a positive one, bruh.
Yeah.
Police charged that when the victim's mother opened the door, Aaron shoved his way past and started to chase the victim around. To be outrun by a 6-year-old who's a pit master and a barbecue guy,
You're in terrible shape.
that's on you, bro. Work on your shuttle times. You might be able to fire off a quick Yelp review, but you certainly cannot fire off the line when this guy's chasing you. Eventually, after the victim tripped and fell on the ground. This is like a horror movie.
Oh my God. How many times have you had that dream where you're like running away from some fat racist
slow motion pit boss
barbecue guy from and you just keep tripping and falling? Jeez.
What if Aaron's just placed one dinner roll on the road
And he slipped on the roll.
slipped on the roll?
Slipped on the roll?
That would have been crazy. Aaron's, cops allege, jumped on top of him and struck him several times while the victim covered his face and arms.
Well, he seems
With
like
his arms.
Seems like a good choice for your mom.
Seems stable enough for your mom to date. God damn. Aarons did not return phone messages left at the restaurant or on his girlfriend's cell phone. What? Who's calling him?
The paper.
Authorities? No, this isn't a paper. This is from a site. I feel like you have enough to arrest this guy, but without asking him what happened and waiting for him to return your call.
Well, I bet he's a good guy, and this is probably the only time anything bad like this has happened in his life.
Aarons was arrested in July on multiple felony counts after allegedly punching his girlfriend in the face and placing a pillow over her face for 2 minutes. So
Okay,
this guy,
all right. So now everyone who listens to this podcast,
Go
feel
on
free
to
to go
Yelp
on to Yelp
and just destroy this man. And again, it's Georgia Boy's restaurant.
Georgia Boy's Barbecue in
He
Florida.
doesn't deserve to be serving anybody anything. The only thing he deserves to be serving is time.
Or someone else can serve him papers.
That's right. He's also accused of threatening the woman with a wooden board that he used to strike her vehicle. Now her vehicle is in this?
So now I agree with all the Yelp reviews.
Both of them. I agree with both of them.
If he spent more time on his barbecue than trying to slap someone's car with a
or
metal
assaulting
board.
his girlfriend and his girlfriend or her son, then maybe the food would be good. His food could be awesome. That's all we're asking him to do. Take the anger, put it into your sauce.
And not into your relationships.
Get spicy on the meat.
And not, your girlfriend's car.
Use the wood plank to cedar plank smoke some salmon.
And not your girlfriend's Hyundai. That's what we're saying.
In a plea deal, Aarons copped last month to criminal mischief. What? That's too easy on this guy.
Too light.
And a misdemeanor, and was fined $575 and credited for the 11 days he spent in the county jail before bonding out. And clearly he's learned his lesson.
Oh, yeah. This guy's learned his lesson.
I can tell you one thing. Nobody is ever going to send food back at Georgia Boys.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't eat
You
that.
get what you get and you don't get upset.
Or you get a board to your car or your face or a punch to the face.
So this is where the public needs to market correct in this situation.
Shame the man out of business and make him destitute. That's all. He needs to learn his lesson. This should be his path. From shitty Yelp reviews to the gutter.
Down into the gutter.
Down into the gutter. It's a Disney tale of barbecue. It's a tale as old as time. Barbecue that was too hot to handle.
Yeah.
You hear that, Aarons?
Take him down.
To Aarons is...
inhumane.
Right. All right, that's our first story, guys. Down in the books. When we come back, we have a story of something that happens on a flight that I guarantee...
We're already afraid of a lot of things when we get on a plane. Now we're going to give you something else to worry
I guarantee you've never experienced this before. This is Sklar Country, the Virus Edition. Don't go anywhere.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We want to let people know our tickets for the live Dumb People Town.
We've gone through another weekend. We were at 350 last week at the end of the week sold. I guarantee you we're barreling towards selling this thing out. I think between this week and next week,
We've never,
gonna be
let
sold
me
out.
say this much. The first two live Dumb People Town sold out, and we've never had this many tickets sold this early in the process.
So get it. Go to eventbrite.com. Look up Live Dumb People Town. John Hamm is the guest. Tennis. We're talking November 7th, the Saturday after the election.
You're either going to be elated, you're going to be miserable, or you're going to be in this weird unknown and you're going to need the escape.
We're going to give you 2 hours, hour and a half of escape for you to enjoy that.
Saturday night, November 7th. We got your plans on lock.
Get it right now. Get your tickets. Also, we have a YouTube page. Go look up Sklar Country on YouTube. You can see episodes of this show in the video episodes. You can see old episodes of Cheap Seats, old never released before stand-up, old episodes of Dumb People Town. It's a blast. Go to Sklar Country on YouTube. Subscribe to it. Tell a friend. And let's get into this, shall we?
Okay. If you have to get on a plane right now, chances are you're going to be nervous about it. And you're going to say one thing. I hope this is the most uneventful flight I've ever been on in my entire life.
Flights should be like referees. You don't even know that they happened.
You don't want some crazy anti-masker refusing to put on a mask and then other passengers having to wrestle that person to the ground.
You don't want anyone to be subdued on your flight.
Right? You don't want the anarchy like taking place at a Spirit Air ticket counter
In Fort Lauderdale.
and you definitely don't want to get peed on.
Unless you're the current president.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Side note, University of Tulsa, they're the Golden Hurricanes, which we said sounds like the most violent sexual act ever.
Starts as a golden shower, then picks up some hookers in the Corpus Christi area before it starts gaining steam and ends up in Tulsa as a Category 4 Golden Hurricane.
We said the Golden Hurricane shouldn't be the mascot of University of Tulsa. It should be the mascot for Trump University.
Folks.
Speaking of. Okay, as we were saying before, the thing that you never expect to happen to you if you don't have a baby on your lap on a plane is to get peed on.
Yeah.
You do not want to get peed on, but we've got a story right now of a woman who the unthinkable happened to.
I cannot believe this happened to her.
A Michigan woman says she woke up to someone urinating on her while she was on a Delta flight home to Detroit from Las Vegas.
I didn't know that R. Kelly was out of house arrest.
Hang on a second. That feels like something you go to Vegas to have happen to you, not get on the plane and come home and not have that happen.
By the way, they never addressed that in the pseudo-funny Delta Airlines cartoon of the safety features on the plane. They would be careful.
In the event of an unexpected on-the-plane water landing in which someone pees on you while you're seated in your seat,
Make sure
please
your
make
seat
sure your
is
seat is
dry.
dry before the seat of a small child traveling with you
You want
gets
to make
dry.
sure your seat's dry first.
By the way, that wasn't just someone who
peed on her.
It was a well-known North Carolina pastor.
Hang on a second. I'm looking at you, Stackhouse.
Rev,
Chris.
I hear. Okay, I hope you don't know this guy.
I pray that you're not friends with this dude. I don't think you would be friends with a guy that would get up and pee on someone, but we need clarity here. You got to write into us. You got to let us know. Tweet at us.
Please tweet us, because they're not giving out his identity, which tells you how serious it is. Alicia Beverly
First names.
told the Detroit TV station the incident happened on Monday night on a red-eye flight.
Yeah.
I hope this guy didn't red-eye her either.
Yeah, I hope he didn't show the red eye.
Red-eye flights, by the way, if I can take a second to talk about it, they seem like they'd be great.
But they're the worst.
No, they
you
are
never
the
get the sleep you think you're going to get on a red eye flight.
You always feel awful the entire next day because you get like half of 4 hours of sleep.
And now you got to worry about pastors walking back and peeing on you.
On top of the whole COVID thing, we haven't even talked about getting on a plane and being sealed up in a tube where you're like, I'm going to catch it.
You have to want to get a cheap fare so badly to take a red eye in these days, where flights
Are like $19.
You can get an international flight for $26.
And she said most of the people were asleep on the plane at the time.
Yeah, because it's a red eye.
That's the
They're
perfect
trying
time.
to be asleep.
That's the perfect time for someone to pee on you.
That's right.
According to what she told Fox 2, she was sitting in the back of the plane. Well,
Yeah.
that might be your first one.
close to the bathroom
Too close to
right
the
there.
bathroom. That's why we ever say, like, we start going back in the plane, we're like, this is not
too
good.
close to the bathroom.
Next to her sister at the time of the alleged incident.
Should have taken the window seat. Should have taken the window seat.
Never again will this woman take the aisle. And that's an age-old debate. Randy and I have had this debate on
Window
flights.
aisle. You're
What's
like,
better?
aisle, I want to be closer to the window, close to the bathroom if I got to get up and go. Nope. Now we settled it. You got to be on the inside.
Window, so that a pastor who is peeing on you,
She describes it, and it is so gross.
she said it felt warm, like on the side of me. I felt something warm. That doesn't feel that bad. I jump up and I see his private area out, and I scream, and I woke everyone up. Okay,
That
is
is
bad.
bad. That is bad.
Turn to your right and see a pastor's junk.
Nope. You don't want to
By
see
that time, I looked at him and I see him shake himself off, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
he didn't want to get any drops on him.
yeah, God forbid you should get in his pants.
No
Just
matter
put it
how
on
you
me.
shake, no matter how you dance, the last drop always ends up in your frock.
pants.
I was talking about taking a pastor style.
Okay. I looked there and there was a puddle of pee in the seats. Oh, Delta, you got to give this woman an upgrade for life.
You got to give. She gets into every Admiral's Lounge from here on.
For life.
For life.
Beverly told Fox 2 an off-duty police officer was among those who heard her scream woke up.
I'm sure he was glad to be woken up at that point. He just wants to sleep. He's an off-duty police officer.
Taking a red-eye flight. He doesn't want to do any work on
He
this
doesn't
flight.
want to have to now subdue a peeing pastor.
Hey, look, he's like, now I'm on this flight. I'm just trying to rest, half rest and get my thing. Okay.
That's right.
She says that the cop, the off-duty cop, who suddenly was on duty,
He restrained the guy.
whom WJBK is identifying only as a well-known pastor from North Carolina.
Again, Chris Stackhouse, please tell us if you know this guy.
I heard well-known pastor, and I was like, Jerry Falwell Jr.? Maybe. Look, I was with my assistant. She thought she was pregnant, and she's been peeing all the time, and so I wanted to make her not feel so bad
were
about peeing all the
commiserating
time.
with her.
I was just, Jesus, you guys are acting like I'm a criminal over here, and I'm sorry for evoking the name Jesus.
Nah, who are we kidding?
Could not have been Falwell.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been the one peeing. He would have hired his pool boy to pee on his wife.
Yes,
And he
while
would
he
have
watched.
watched it. That's right.
By the way, well known that. So this is someone who has a big congregation. This can't be good for the
Not
congregation.
good for the
This is
congregation.
not going to be good for the congregation.
And
We
they're
know
going to
that.
keep his identity private now,
Which
even
tells
though
you how
he was
bad it
not
was.
keeping his privates private.
Folks. The report from Fox 2 says the pastor may have had a reaction to a sleep aid.
Of course. This is always the, like, my penis got hacked.
Yeah, someone borrowed my penis Twitter.
Yeah.
You know how you take a Xanax pee,
Makes you get up and go out and pee on a woman.
pee on a woman
Yeah,
in
I know
a
that.
different seat. You get a great sleep, but you will pee on someone. Xanax pee. Beverly says the man did not say a word the entire time he was standing next to her.
Of course he didn't.
Maybe he was asleep. Our buddy Mike Birbiglia, he slept walked.
Yeah.
God, I wonder if Birbig's would have been fearful of that. Like that,
I'm
maybe
sure
he
he
never
was.
took overnight flights.
No red-eye flights. I'm sure he was. But by the way, if you were...
Have you ever peed in a dream, Ran, and thought to yourself,
I peed on myself.
Yeah, I just peed the bed.
No, I haven't. But I'll say this. If he did walk back towards the bathroom, so he knew where he was going, which tells me that he wasn't sleeping. If he was sleepwalking, he would have walked up into the beverage cart and peed in first class.
Beverly said she had to sit in her urine-soaked clothes for the rest of her flight.
And then on top of that, she had to go to Detroit.
3 more hours before it landed in Detroit Metro. She said, this must be what it's like to fly Frontier Airlines.
She did not say that. She did not say that. Come on.
Fox 2 said police did take the pastor into custody with possible charges pending. The FBI handles investigations into incidents alleged to have occurred.
What needs to be investigated? This guy peed on this woman, and it feels like he knew where he was
But I
going.
guess the FBI has to get involved because you're going state to state.
Maybe.
Fox 2 said it also reached out to people associated with the pastor for comment, but they declined to say anything.
Nobody wants to be a Judas to this guy. Stab him in the back while he's peeing on their backs.
So this is a religious situation, and I think we have a moral to this story, and that is don't fly on planes right now.
Don't do it.
Do not do it. This is terrifying. Now we have a new thing to worry about, getting peed on a flight.
Getting peed on a flight, which to me would be the worst. You'd have to take all the clothes. I don't even know how
burn them. You got to burn them.
That flight can't take off. You've now made every flight after that for the entire day. The flight, that whole thing needs to be fumigated.
Sounds like it'll smell like a Subway stop.
Yeah.
So it'll probably smell like a Subway restaurant. All right, that's a show.
Guys, be careful out there. Please stay connected, stay protected. Don't get infected. We love you guys. This is not a hoax.
But we've got the jokes.
Please wear a mask and make a plan to vote. If you haven't voted already, I voted last weekend. Just vote. Get out there. Vote. And we'll see you tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da.